If you've seen the movie The Founder, raise your hand. If you've read the book, Grinding It Out, The Making of McDonald's, raise your other hand. Okay, I've watched and read both. Now here's the deal, is that my wife hates the movie, but I love the movie. But we both love the book, okay? We're going to be going into why. And the main reason is that, and I did a movie review on the movie The Founder, and so you can go ahead, look up that video as well and see what I thought of the movie. But the main reason is that the book and the movie are two completely different stories. And I love the movie because of the business principles that it taught, but I hated how it portrayed Ray Kroc and capitalism, and made it seem that capitalism was bad and that Ray Kroc, this great entrepreneur, was an evil guy. And my wife hated it because she could only kind of see that part and didn't really even want to see the business principles because the guy was bad. But then I said, hey, you got to read Ray Kroc's autobiography and see his side of the story. And the thing is that nobody really knows what happened. Nobody was really there, right? And so we can only take this with a grain of salt. But you have to go to the original sources. And the thing is that Ray Kroc wrote this book 45 years ago, I think it might have been 55 years ago, whereas this movie just came out 5 years ago about the story. So who really knows? But here are my 3 takeaways from the book. Takeaway number 1 is go into business for yourself, not by yourself. That was a famous motto that Ray Kroc always said to all of his franchisees. He's actually known, there's actually a quote in the book. It says that Maurice Goldfarb in 1976 said he was certain that Ray Kroc made more millionaires of more men than any other person in history. I don't know that. And Ray Kroc said, I don't know that. I appreciate Maurice's view, but I would put it another way. I'd rather say I gave a lot of men the opportunity to become millionaires. How did he do that? Not only through his corporation, but mainly, and people could go up the ranks in the corporation or they could invest in McDonald's, but mainly from becoming franchisees. There are 38,000 franchisees across the world, right? That means he gave the opportunity to 38,000 people to become millionaires, to own their own business. And he said, I really liked, they said, go into business for yourself, not by yourself. Because a lot of people, when going into business, they don't know what they're doing. It's their first time, and they're like, hey, they kind of hit all the roadblocks themselves, and they don't have a mentor or somebody to help them. And McDonald's, what they did was they kind of gave them the roadmap. Here's how you can become successful as a franchisee, because the more successful you are, the more successful we are. So we want to help you become better. Another example is Fred Turner and June Martino. They were 2 of the very original people who started in the McDonald's company. June Martino started as Ray Kroc's personal bookkeeper and ended up becoming the chief officer over the treasury of the entire McDonald's corporation. And Fred Turner, he was one of the first employees. He ended up becoming the CEO down the road. And it was cool because both these guys, they were able to progress in their careers, and all that was possible because Ray Kroc provided those opportunities. He created, I love that, he created so many millionaires. And then one other experience is there wasn't a failed McDonald's in the first 15 years of McDonald's. They had to, everybody was successful. Nobody was failing. So it wasn't like, 1 in 10 or 2 out of 3 fail in the first whatever. No, everybody was successful because they found a product that worked, and then they just plugged in the franchisees and it worked automatically like clockwork. Okay? You can do the same thing. If you're at that stage of business where you're like, I want to get into something, but I don't know what idea to do. And I've looked at ideas, and I'm not sure if it's something right for me. I kind of want to have a partner. Then you should look into becoming a franchisee. That's what Shaquille O'Neal did, right? He owns hundreds and hundreds of restaurants. But there's one story of he bought 150 over time, bought 150 Five Guys, right? He became a franchisee of Five Guys, watched how they did it, learned everything he could, and then sold the 150 franchises of a Five Guys and started his own restaurant called Big Chicken. And now he has many locations across the U.S. He recently started it up. But that's the path he did. He started as a franchisee, and then he became his own owner over his own company. So that's an idea that you could take. Lesson number 2 is beat the competition with value, not the government. What do I mean by that? There's a story in it where this guy this franchisee is in competition with this other restaurant in town, and they keep on lowering their prices and lowering their prices, kind of like Amazon does. And they lowered their prices from 20 cents a hamburger to 18 to 15 to 10 cents a hamburger, and he was like, dude, they can't do this for much longer because they're losing money on every single sell that they make. They're just trying to outlast me. What should I do? And he told Ray Kroc this. He's like, actually, I think we could file an antitrust lawsuit because they're under this law. They're actually not able to do that. And Ray Kroc said this to him. He said, the thing that has made our country great is our free enterprise system. If we have to resort to bringing in the government to beat our competition, then we deserve to go broke. If we can't do it by offering a better 15-cent hamburger, by being better merchandisers, by providing better service in a cleaner place, then I would rather go broke tomorrow and out of business and start all over in something else. He wasn't for using the government to solve his problems at all. He knew that the government was there to protect our freedom of opportunities, to give the opportunity for everybody to have a business, not to leverage the government against his competition and filing lawsuits. And other people will do that. And you have to be prepared for when people will do that against you. That's called preparedness, right? But if you do it against them, then you, according to Ray Kroc, you deserve to go broke. And that's sincerely what he believed. He said this additional thing. He said the reason McDonald's has had so much success is because of our moral values. He believed in honesty, in hard work, in dedication, and not in either using the government against them or by lying or by cheating, by taking any of those other methods. And that's something I've learned from my own experience in business is you have to be a moral person in order for your company to succeed, and you will really see success by becoming a moral person. Something that I have to say is you might say, oh, well, I'm a moral person. I'm honest. I'm hardworking, but I haven't seen success in my business. And I'll tell you this. This is what Jim Valvano said. He said that hard work, he said, my relationship or my understanding of hard work and success was always inverted. That if I worked hard, then I would be successful. And he said, it's actually the other way around. I need to work hard in order to be successful. Or in order to be successful, I have to work hard. That success, the predecessor of success, is hard work. It's not that when I work hard, I will be successful. It's that if I don't work hard, I can't be successful. Okay? Lesson number 3 is Ray Kroc loves people and he puts the business and the company first. Now, I was talking about this with my wife of what's the difference between business and family. And one of the differences is you can't fire your kids. You can't fire your wife when you don't like something that she does, right? Or your husband. That's one of the main differences between running a family and a business. But in a lot of other respects, it is very, very similar of how you run both of them. And there's a case where he recommended, he was sitting down with one of his franchisees, and it was at his store, and they were leaving, and he was in the car, and he's like, hey, I think you really should fire this manager that you have. And he's like, oh, really? Oh, why is that? Oh, because of this, and this. I would recommend doing that. And they kept on driving, and it was like I think it was like a day later, he called him up, and he's like, man, you got to fire that guy. Why didn't you fire him already? And the guy's like, well, I think I want to give him another chance. I want to see how he does. Well, long story short, this kid who was a manager ends up staying with McDonald's several more years, and he was given chance after chance after chance to improve, and he never did, and he was finally let go. And Ray Kroc said, I always look back at that experience sad for not only McDonald's, but for the kid. He wasted years of his life that he could have been with a different company that fit his situation better and his person better, and he could have progressed in a career with a different company. Instead, he wasted valuable years of his career with McDonald's, where he wasn't the best fit, right? And it was cool because Ray Kroc wasn't about, oh, I only care about the business, right? It's easy to see that in like some movies that you watch or on the news of, oh, it's just only about the business. No, Ray Kroc sincerely cared about his employees. He cared about them enough to say, I need to fire you because I think that it will be best for your success to go with a different company, right? And my challenge to you is go ahead, read this book, Grinding It Out. It's so full of stories, and he's just so hilarious. He's honestly an awesome salesman. He sells you so well on loving him and also loving McDonald's, and it's a really, really good refresher from watching the movie to reading the book and hearing his side of the story, right? So go ahead, read this book this week. And then my second challenge is go ahead and read one book a week, one educational book a week. My book list, my full book list is down below. I'd highly recommend checking it out so you can get some really good recommendations and you can actually download it and keep track of the books that you've read. And so you can keep on developing. But I promise you that as you do, your knowledge you'll be able to gain more and more knowledge about how business works, how life works, how family works, who you want to be, goals you want to set, all that kind of stuff. So highly recommend that you do those two things, and we'll see you next time.